Hello Internet, welcome to EMFT tutorial series. Today we'll discuss Maxwell's fourth equation, which is derived from Ampere's Circuital law. We'll try to understand the Ampere's Circuital law and the derivation of Maxwell's fourth equation from that law. Before we start the discussion and derivation, let me tell you Ampere's Circuital law is a dual law of Biot-Savart's law. So let's examine those two laws briefly. If we talk about Biot-Savart's law, which is the dual of Ampere's Circuital law, that states that if I have a conducting wire and some amount of current is flowing through that wire, you'll find some amount of magnetic field intensity curling around that wire, which is governed by, of course, the right hand thumb rule. Now you cannot actually see that magnetic field intensity curling around it, but you surely can feel it, and there are ways and methods to check its presence, and the curling is represented by the right hand thumb rule. If my thumb is representing the direction of flow of current, the curling of my fingers will represent the curling of H around I. And the contrary of that law is the Ampere's Circuital law. The Ampere's Circuital law assumes that if by chance you have H curling around in free space or in any medium, then this would cause some amount of current to flow within the surface of the curling of H if a conductor was placed within this area. Now please understand, the curling of H cannot happen just like that. So this is more of an hypothetical situation, but assuming that curling of H happens out of nowhere and it is curling in this direction. Now I've given the direction of curl to be clockwise, so, and it is covering this area. Now if I were to place some conductor within this area, this will cause the current to flow in that conductor, but you need to place the conductor within the surface area which the curl is covering. So the dual of Biot-Savart's law is Ampere's Circuital law. If I was to make a two-dimensional diagram, that would look something like this, and this current, by the way, is known as the enclosed surface current, because it really does not depend where the placement of the conductor is. The only requirement is that the conductor should be placed within the surface area. It need not necessarily be right in the center of the curl. So even if you have a zigzag kind of a conductor placed right through the surface of the curling of H, that would also cause some induced current to be flowing in that, and that also augments the properties of an inductor. But anyway, we are more concerned about the fact that Ampere's Circuital law gave us this beautiful formula that the curling of H around a surface gives us some current which is also enclosed within the surface, and the condition of obtaining it physically is that we need to place a conductor right through the surface. But the starting point of the discussion is the Ampere circuital laws mathematical expression, which I am maintaining it to be as the first equation. Now if I was to express the current enclosed or the current passing through a surface area normally, in other words, I take up a surface area and I wish to find out how much current is passing through this surface area normally. And normally means that it is cutting right through the surface of surface area. So that can be obtained by multiplying the current density, because current density, which is given by J, is nothing but the current upon area. So if I was to find the enclosed current out of the surface of this area, then I'll need to multiply the current density with area, and area is represented as, I'll take up a small area ds as the surface integral of ds. So a little rearrangement gives me j dot ds to be equivalent to current enclosed. Now I'll mark this expression as 2. This expression is nothing but a way of expressing current in terms of current density. If I equate these two equations 1 and 2, what I get is h dot dl to be equivalent to j dot ds. Now this is the line integral of the h vector around a surface, and this is the surface integral of current density, and together they form the Maxwell's fourth equation in integral form. Now I'll take the help of a mathematical tool. I'll apply Stokes theorem on the vector h. The Stokes theorem says that the line integral of any vector is closed loop line integral of any vector is equivalent to the curl of that vector out of the surface enclosed by that closed path. So Stokes theorem is also popularly known to be connecting line integral with the surface integral, as divergence theorem makes up a relation of surface integral with volume integral. Stokes theorem relates line integral to the surface integral, and if I compare equation number 3 and I'll give it equation number 4, I'll find that curl of h is equivalent to the current density, and this is a popular form of Maxwell's fourth equation in point or differential form. Time and again I say and I maintain the fact that Maxwell's equations are very intelligent representation of basic electrical laws, in a more sophisticated manner. Even this equation, curling of H produces current, is nothing but a clever expression of Ampere circuital law in differential form or in point form. So I hope this quick tutorial on derivation of Maxwell's fourth equation from Ampere circuital law was helpful, and I'll continue making videos on EMFT, antennas, radars, and microwave engineering. If you like the contents of the playlist that I'm making, then please consider subscribing to this channel and support me in my endeavors. And thank you for watching this video and stopping by. You have a good day, good life. Bye.